All right, ladies and gentlemen. So yesterday I put out a video talking about Wuchang Fallen Feathers and saying that the game is obviously having major performance PC issues for a lot of people. Now, just for transparency, I am not one of those people. The game ran perfectly fine for me before, and it's running perfectly fine for me now. But that doesn't mean that other people are not affected by whatever they may be affected by. So apparently, Wuchang Fallen Feathers yesterday, the developers made a statement saying that they were going to, release a patch to fix the game, but that they didn't have an ETA on when that patch was going to release. They also promised that they were going to give players, free stuff for dealing with the nonsense. Well, apparently, that day was today, which a lot of people have been shocked by, myself included. Wuchang Fallen Feathers has officially released patch 1.3, and this is to not only fix a lot of the PC performance issues, but they also decided to nerf some things in the game as well and give players some free compensation. So we're going to go over all of that. And we're also going to check out the Steam forums to see what's going on here, because we got some people complaining about the performance even after the patch. So I want to see what some people are saying. You also have some people complaining about the difficulty, but, that's every Souls game at this point. Let's look at the numbers really quick and see how the game is doing. I need to refresh. Last I checked, the game was at 25,000 players playing right now at 29.78% reviews. If you refresh right now, it has jumped up to almost 50,000 players playing right now with the same amount of reviews. And look at the amount of reviews. 41,000 reviews on the game. That is a lot of reviews. It's insane. It still has a pretty strong number in terms of viewership overall, but it is starting to slowly but surely go down. So let's go over the article and see what's going on with this patch. So the 1.3 Wuchang Fallen Feathers update has officially dropped, and Lingzi's patch notes certainly caught the attention because of the landmine nerf that they've thankfully introduced. There's also bonus content waiting for players as compensation due to content issues. Wuchang Fallen Feathers review featured a ton of praise for the game, and rightfully so. It is not a genre-changing or genre-defining release, but it's a solid option for a player base who are always searching for a new Souls-like. One thing I'll say about this game is that when looking at it from the outside, if you're the outside looking in, it's going to look like a Wukong game. It's going to look like something that's more of like hack and slash, maybe close to the speed of Stellar Blade. But the simple truth is it's not, right? The game is a Dark Souls 1 damn near replica in every way possible with slightly faster combat. And I truly mean slightly faster. You have to be methodical. You have to be very slow and very careful with what you're doing. You have to pay attention to every little thing. And my biggest complaint that I have with this game right now is that regardless of how different the areas look, every single map feels like you're walking around and running around in Blighttown. That's basically how it felt. Every single map is like Blighttown from Dark Souls. It is a nightmare. But anyway, that's also fun in its own way too. It might be rage-inducing, but sometimes it also is fun as well. It's a very, very challenging game. But anyway, landmines were a big criticism that this person had about the title. This has been fixed. The developer has also dished out more improvements to enhance the gameplay experience. Anybody gooning to the panda? Stop it. I see you guys in the chat gooning to the panda all the time. Stop gooning. The Wuchang 1.3 update makes landmines less frustrating, providing a litany of new performance-related settings and options to enhance optimization and smoothness, and players are being given the original soundtrack DLC for free as compensation for a pre-order bonus redemption era. So I also managed to receive this as well, so that's pretty cool. So we're going to read the patch notes together. Let's check it out and see what they actually fixed, what they nerfed, what they changed. It says all of the Wuchang Fallen Feathers 1.3 update patch notes, performance-related optimizations. Low latency mode is now a manual toggle in the options menu. It will no longer be enabled by default. Super sampling resolution limits have been adjusted on select GPU models to prevent unintended performance degradation. VRAM optimization for lower-end GPUs. For GPUs with 8 gigs or less VRAM, memory saving optimization is now applied across all texture quality levels. For GPUs with more than 8 gigs of VRAM, this optimization applies only when texture quality is set to low. These changes improve stability and reduce crashes or stuttering caused by insignificant video memory. You know what's insane to me? You know what this sounds like? This sounds like the developers are adjusting your settings for you. That's what this sounds like. That's exactly what this sounds like. It sounds like that I don't know if most people didn't just adjust their settings, but it seems like the developers are adjusting your settings for you by basically determining what kind of graphics card you have. And if you have something with 8 gigs or less, like a 4060, for example, well, then they're just going to adjust some, settings in game to make sure that the game runs smoothly on your computer instead of relying on you to do it yourself. That's really what it sounds like. So let's look at some bug fixes. Fixed a crash that could occur immediately after the company logo during game startup. Resolved execution stutter affecting select hardware configurations during finisher animations. I haven't experienced this, but I did watch some people play the game, and I noticed that when they do an obliterate strike, which is basically a backstab, there is some lag with the finisher animation. Fixed issues related to both the standard and deluxe edition. After the patch update, players of both versions will receive the correct content rewards. Players who have already purchased the deluxe edition package will need to log in again and claim the reward at the donation box located in Revenant Temple. All Wuchang Fallen Feathers owners will now receive the original soundtrack DLC for free as compensation. And they also adjusted gameplay. Landmine encounter rebalancing reduced the number of landmines and adjusted their damage output to create a more fair and enjoyable challenge. So they nerfed the game. They made it easier. There you go. Shocking. All right, so let's move over to the Steam forums. So people obviously are still not happy. Okay, and with the Steam forums, you got to take it a little bit with a grain of salt because there's a lot of trolls in the Steam forums, number one. And number two, people are just like, I don't know, man. I really do think that there are a lot of disingenuous people that are on the Steam forums, but there's also genuine people too. You got to look at their account. You got to see their history and all that stuff. But in any case, this person, let's see. Level 15 Steam. Yeah, okay. Performance is still terrible even after update. What the fuck, devs? Before I get the classic upgrade your rig, stop being poor BS, here is my PC specs. RM 850 fully modular, 80 plus gold, AMD Ryzen 9700X, ROG Strix B650A gaming Wi-Fi, Kingston Fury Beast 32 gigs of RAM, Hellhound AMD RX 7900, and a 2 terabyte Samsung SSD. Okay. Now, as you can see, my PC is no slouch. It's pretty high end. I don't know if I would call that high end, but this game has zero optimization. Now, my GPU and CPU should handle 1440p. No problem. I play every single game on 1440p or 4K because I got the hardware to spare for it. Bro, this has to be a troll. There's no way. This is no way. There's no way. All at 60 FPS at high settings. I don't do max or ultra because there is almost no visual difference. That is not true at all. That is not true in the slightest. But anyway, but the performance drop is insane. At this game, I can't even do 1440p at 60 FPS. I get terrible FPS drops. The max I could get is a stable 60 FPS is 60% of 4K, which is 1296p. 1296 on a 9700X plus 7900 XTX. This is ridiculous that devs continue to release broken games and people praise them for it. This is absolutely a troll. This is absolutely 1000% a troll, in my opinion. The last patch really fixed the performance for me. It's butter smooth now with barely any stuttering. 9600, 64 gigs of RAM, 9070. No issues here. Smooth, no stuttering, no hitching. 80 to 100 FPS on Linux. Seems odd that a 7900 XTX is struggling. You should at least be able to get the same FPS I'm getting at 1440p since your card is better than mine. It plays well for me. It's just too hard for me to play, so regret buying it personally. Why do people continue to buy Souls games or Souls-like games knowing that their entire basis of what the identity of the game is the difficulty of the game? Can we put out like a, I don't know. I don't even know what to even call it. Can we just put out an alert to all people like, hey, if you see a game with Souls-like in the tag, perhaps don't play it if you don't like hard games because they're going to be very hard, especially if they're Asian made. Like let's be real here. Yeah, it's why I'm using a trainer. I can play the game without losing stamina or health. This person says, trust me, I tried every which way above 60%. Scale, my performance isn't stable. Does it go above 60 FPS? Yeah, it does, but in intense situations, it'll dip and dip hard, which is why I kept at 60 since I don't have a FreeSync monitor. There's a learning curve, blah, blah. So again, let's go back. Let's see if there's anything else that... Wait, what's this? Wuchang ain't woke, still getting roasted? No forced diversity, no rainbow flags, no woke agenda, and yet Wuchang is still getting cooked in the comments. It's almost like game quality matters more than internet culture wars. But sure, let's blame everything except clunky combat and dated visuals. What? Are we kidding ourselves right now? Bro, it's getting cooked because the optimization is bad. Most people are not saying the game is boring. Most people are not saying the game's not fun. Actually, people are saying the game is pretty damn fun when they can play it. People are saying they enjoy the game. Most Souls-like players are going to be enjoying the game, no doubt about it. But the simple fact is some people have PC issues. That has nothing to do with internet culture wars. That's not even close. Internet culture wars can absolutely ruin the perception of a video game and make people not want to play it and not want to try it. And you, of course, can try your best to deflect and pretend like that's not real. But it is real. And it always will be real. What the fuck? That's insane. This person says, he. The performance for these combat visuals completely bonkers. Let's try to keep it this way, please. You have a bit of skewed understanding of what performance you get with the visuals provided. Hey, anti-wokes, wasn't it supposed to jump to 80% positive overnight? What happened? Who said that? Who said that the game was going to jump to 80% positive overnight? Who said that? Bro, these people just, I swear to God, they are like literally shadow boxing. They make up shit in their own mind, and then they attach what they made up in their mind to someone who's like, I don't know, a YouTuber or something. They just make it up and put it onto someone. They're like, yeah, anti-wokers said that. Who said that? Anyway, performance. More and more people getting tired of games running so damn poorly these days. It's not as if the graphical capability of the game should demand what it does now. Just because one problem is fixed doesn't mean the game will do well. I agree 100%. Let's check some more, see what's going on here. Scroll down. Wuchang or Wukong? I would probably get Wukong, honestly. Where is the one where people were complaining just about the difficulty? Wait, what? Anybody getting dizzy or queasy from this game? Turn off motion blur. That should be pretty obvious. Turn off motion blur. Like, what the hell? Oh, here we go. General of the North. What the fuck is this difficulty spike? Let's see. Probably, it's either a private account. I really don't know. I thought that commander boss was tough, but this guy goes to second phase, uses burn, knocks me down, then attacks me again and kills me. I'm still struggling with this boss. I know I can summon for this fight, but it's kind of annoying how his second phase took like 80% off my health. Seriously, some of these bosses' difficulty just went up a little bit too much. Now, one thing I know for a fact is that people are complaining that this game is definitely difficult, right? There are some like bosses that the spike doesn't quite match what they were dealing with before. And I'm noticing that a lot of people are complaining about difficulty with this. I will say that in my opinion, this game, mainly because the traversal of the levels is a lot harder, this game is definitely harder than Wukong, in my opinion. Maybe not so much on the bosses, not quite yet, but definitely because of the areas and the way the world is built and the way how the world is constantly trying to kill you, like constantly. I didn't really have that level of stress with Wukong. Sure, every now and then there were some moments where it was like, well, that sucked. But for the most part, it was pretty simple to traverse the world of Wukong. It was the bosses that were really hard. But with this particular game, I feel like it's the opposite. It's the world that is the true difficult part of the game. And then the bosses so far are like, okay, meh. You know, like they're not exactly as difficult. But that's what I think about. There's a lot of traps in this game. There's a lot of like things you could fall through. A lot of fucking things that want to push you off bridges. Like it's the world is constantly trying to kill you. So, but in any case, here's what I'll say. I'm glad that Wuchang is at least getting fixed. And I will say one thing, like I talked about with Wukong. When Wukong had performance issues, the developers released a patch within just a couple of days. They were very fast on it. They were unbelievably fast on it. This developer was even faster, right? When they talked about the patch initially, they told us there was no ETA for the patch. I don't know if they were trolling. I don't know if they just want to look like the hero. I really don't know, but they said there was no ETA. And I was saying, damn, I hope they fix it fast because that way people can have a good perception of the game because the longer it goes, the worse it's going to get. And lo and behold, within 24 hours or less, they released a patch for the game. And they gave you exactly what they promised in terms of the free content. So good on them. I'm happy that they were able to do that. Hopefully they can continue to improve the game and hopefully people are able to play it and enjoy it. And if not, well, I mean, that's what the developer gets at that point. So you guys can let me know in the comments down below. What do you think about all this? Have you played Wuchang? Have you struggled with it? If you have struggled with it, has the patch fixed it for you? I would really like to know because I haven't struggled with it at all. But again, my PC is overpowered. So let me know in the comments. What do you think? And if you enjoyed the video, consider hitting that like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys on the next one.